Hey, happy Friday, everybody. It's Paul Brandt, Clear to Close Brokers. Friday market update here. So here's the thing. Jobs report came out much weaker than expected. And honestly, it's not good for the job market. But if we're focusing on just interest rates, that is really what that market is looking for, a weaker jobs market. They want to see inflation come down. As a result, we're starting to see interest rates continue to improve. Now, here's the thing. We've seen this before. We get that big dip in rate and it shoots back up. So if you're thinking about refinancing, you really need to have what I call a target rate in mind. Now, what's a target rate? A target rate is a rate that if you missed, you would regret. For example, let's say you have a 7% and I call you up and say, hey, rates are 6.75. You'll benefit and you kind of go, no, I think I want a lower interest rate. Because by the way, we all want the lowest interest rate. However, what I do know of 20 years of doing this, that interest rate, when it's at its lowest, it doesn't go, hey, this is the lowest I'm going to get. Let's lock this now. No, that's not what happens. What happens is it shoots right back up and you miss your opportunity. So therefore, we're going to talk about target rate. So target rate is, well, maybe it's not 6.7, but 6.5. If I missed out on 6.5, would I regret it? And it's like, well, no, maybe 6.375. That's my target rate. So therefore, once we establish what your target rate is, then we know like, hey, by the way, Mr. You, the rate's at 6.375. Let's lock it and we'll get you taken care of. Now let's talk a little bit about next week as it relates to interest rates. So we know we had good news today on the mortgage side. Let's talk about what's going to impact next week. Well, we have two reports coming out. Remember we talked about inflation. We have CPI, which is Consumer Price Index. That measures inflation really to you as a family. Then we have PPI, which is basically an inflation measurement for businesses. Also, this week, as you know or may not know, the Feds met and they decided not to change short-term interest rates. Next week, they're going to talk about their meeting and the market is going to pay close attention because what they say is more important sometimes than what they actually do. So that can be something that changes the market. But as we stand right now, we are expecting interest rates to continue being steady, if not dropping a little bit. But here's the thing, long term, we're still expecting interest rates to drop to the 6%, maybe mid fives. And here's the thing, if you're out there either refinancing, because this is available now as a 2-1 buy down refinance, which is amazing if you're having a hard time making your payments, reach out to me. There's a QR code. It's somewhere right there. Just reach out. But for buying a house, check this out. There's two strategies. If you believe interest rates are going to go down, then maybe this is something you want to do. This is getting a lender paid 2-1 buy down. So you don't have to, the seller doesn't have to participate. You don't have to participate. What happens is the interest rate is increased to cover that cost for you. So for example, today's rates are about 6.625. That interest rate on that 2-1 buy down is about a 7.3, 7.5%. So it's going to be a lot higher than where you want. But the benefit is you're going to start off by paying, let's say we get you into a 7.5, you're going to start off by paying 5.5 for 1 year, then 6.5 for another year. And then hopefully in that time, we're going to be able to refinancing using clear to close lender paid fees. So you're not going to pay any lending fees. And then we're going to get you locked in 30-year fixed rate, 6%, ideally lower. So let me show you this flow flyer here real quick. I made this for 5 Charmaine Court. Actually, you know what? I hate to do this to myself, but I'm going to take me out here. There you go. So the first year on this property, you can actually pay as if your rate was 5.375. But remember, it's not. That's the first year payment. We're doing a 2-1 buy down, lender paid. There we go. So the first year, you're going to save about $863 per month. The second year, about $441 per month. And if you don't refinance, if rates don't come down, then the rate goes back to that 7.375, 30-year fixed rate. And there you have it. However, there's other options available. If you don't want the buy down and just want to lock in at a low 30-year fixed rate, we got your back as well. So here's the point. There's a lot of options out there. A lot of people are talking about, oh, I wish the rates were in the 2s again. But let me remind you, when rates were in the 2%, you had to bid $100,000 over the asking price, not on all properties, but on most. And it was extremely competitive and it was very awful and people weren't happy then. Today's unique market allows you as the buyer to have a sense of control. You're able to go in there. If a house is sitting longer than 10 days, maybe 15 days, you'll be able to get your closing costs paid for. Utilize programs like this. Utilize people like me who've been in the business long term. That's going to give you the great advice, the true advice, not, hey, let's date the rate, marry the house and date the rate. You have to know your pros and cons and make sure that at the end of the day, if rates don't go down, you're taken care of. So there it is. There's a QR code right there. Would love to connect. Let me see if I can help you saving money. And by the way, right now, a real estate agent is so important. For whatever reason, there's a lot of media like, oh, you don't need it. You can sell your house yourself and all this stuff. I work with the best real estate agents, and I'm going to tell you, they know how to negotiate. It is totally the difference between an active real estate agent and someone that is a little bit more passive, maybe not as good. Working with the right real estate agent is going to save you time, money. It's going to get you the house you ultimately want. If you need a recommendation, give me a call. I work with the best. You don't even have to use me as a lender. I just love them so much, and I want to make sure they're taken care of. No, I want to make sure you're taken care of by reaching out to them. All right, I rambled on enough. Paulo Brands, Clear to Close Brokers. Have a good week.